Resistance bands or bands in general or chains are the best thing for triceps. I'm going to explain why. When you do a skull crusher, it's not to say skull crushers are bad. I'm a big fan of JM presses. A JM press is not a skull crusher. It's more like a hybrid of a skull crusher and a press. I do 4 sets of JM press a week, but when I get closer to my meets, tricep training becomes more taxing on the joints. I didn't even do direct tricep work except for this today, although I do JM presses later in the week, so let me explain. When you do a skull crusher, the closer you get the lockout, the easier it gets. Just like with a bench press. Hell, even with a squat. The closer you get to locking out, or the closer you get to standing up on the squat, the easier it gets. But because a resistance band gets harder as you stretch it, locking out is actually the hardest part. Going from here to here is actually the hardest part. So you're overloading the part that's usually easy, which is awesome. So in essence, bands and doing exercises like board presses and dead stop presses and pin presses and even overhead presses or pin press overhead presses, although I struggle on overhead presses with lockout as well. When you are somebody who is just very genetically gifted in the delts, it's not that I'm not gifted in the triceps, because I am. I just have monstrous shoulders for someone who's only a $176. What the issue you're going to run into is you generate so much force and momentum that when you're in your earlier blocks of training, when you're doing, say, sets of 10, sets of 8, maybe even when you're running your 5s, you end up having a bench press that's so fast and so aggressive that the triceps don't have to contribute that much, because you generate so much speed and acceleration and power. And then you'll notice every time I struggle on a bench, it's always right when the triceps have to contribute, because they're not